So my journey as a pastor has been a lot different than people I went to seminary school with. Most of them attended seminary school like the average young man attends college. And I wasn't forced to be one either. But when God lifts the veil and shows you what's on the other side, you quickly realize that it's either Him or the darkness. This happened in my early 20s. I'm in that rebellious phase of life because I come from a long line of Baptist preachers, grew up in the church, Wednesday Bible study, the son of a preacher. And whether you realize it or not, it's a lot of pressure on a young man growing up in the church. You gotta look right, you gotta talk right, you gotta act right. So when I graduated high school, I shed the whole church thing like a snake sheds its skin. I remember saying to myself, I'm my own man, damn it. And that's how I thought I was gonna live my life. Moved from Texas to Atlanta, Georgia, where nobody knew me, and started hanging out, having fun, being promiscuous, drinking, clubbing, doing anything I wanted to do. Then one night I'm parking my car around the corner from this nightclub. It's 10 p.m. People are moving around and about. I'm in the process of parallel parking when I notice this man walking on the side of the street with a black hoodie on, bumping into people as he walks by. And by the time I get out of the car, he's 30 feet away from me. While simultaneously I'm looking through the rearview mirror and these two sexy fine girls are walking up the street in my direction. And little did I know this series of events would lead me straight back to church and eventually becoming a pastor. Because as I'm getting out of the car, closing the door, we all meet at the same time. Me stepping up onto the sidewalk, them walking up on my right, and him walking to my left, head down with a black hoodie on in 94 degrees summer weather. And this dude bumps into one of these girls, knocking her down to the ground. And I'm like, yo, hey man, what the hell are you doing? What's wrong with you? Understand, when I say he knocked her down, he ran over this woman like he was Marshawn Lynch. Now he's standing there with his back turned to us, head down, and this girl's friend is helping her up from the ground. And I'm like, listen, bro, whatever your problem is, whatever's going on with you, it's nobody else's fault but yours. No need for you to treat these women like this. Imagine a situation. A girl who's been knocked down to the ground is now standing up, and we're all in the process of walking away from him when this raspy, gargly voice says, "Shut up, preacher's son." Man, when I tell you this voice was demonic, I mean, it was absolutely demonic. The three of us look at each other like, what the hell is going on? Then he says, you of all people can't judge me. You were given a kingdom and turned it down, and your decisions led you to this very moment right here, right now. Then he turns around, takes that hood off his head, revealing his face, and I'm like, Jesus, what is this? We're talking about pale skin with these deep indentions, an emaciated face with skin that was hugging his cheekbones like someone was pulling it too tight, these jaundiced yellow eyes sunken deep into his eye sockets, thin lips, thin strands of white hair like an old man. Listen, man, and then he grabs me, but the movement was so fast it was supernatural, because he cleared 12 feet in what had to be a split second, turns my body and slams it into the side of my car. Now I'm trying to push him off, but he's strong. I'm talking about the strength of three men. The girls take off running, leaving me there, and this thing is face to face with me so close I can feel the moisture from his breath as it says. Then this thing says, if I could, I would kill you right now. That's when this orange light starts to emanate from the skin on his forehead, like right in the middle, like a freaking eyeball is coming out of his head. So I punch him as hard as I can. He laughs and says, weak preacher boy. Then he starts taunting me. He's holding me pinned against this vehicle, and he starts telling me that I'm going to die here in Atlanta. Then goes on to say the reason why he bumped the girl and knocked her to the ground because she had just took a plan B and killed her baby. And that not only I was going to hell, but she was going to hell, and that she had destined her baby to hell. Listen to me when I say to you, I've never felt so helpless in my life. I'm pinned there, trying to move and can't do anything. He's directly in my face, talking all kind of trash. You're a coward, a yellow belly snake that doesn't deserve the skin that God gave you to wear. And this thing continues, telling me that he's going to take my skin and wear it. Listen, like I said, I'm trying my best to fight him off. He's too strong, so I decided to reach into my pocket for my car keys. I was going to try and stab him in his eye. That's when those two girls come bolting up the street with this giant of a man. Him screaming, hey, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Oh my goodness, that's when his thing legs comes up off the ground, both of them at the same time. Its feet hit the car door. One on my right side, one on my left side. It pushes off that door, jumps backwards and away from me with so much force that the car rocks, shakes, and an alarm goes off. Hits the wall of the building behind him. And you know how it is in those horror movies. Things be like climbing up the walls. Well, it scurries up the wall of that building doing this crab walk, except for its back is against the wall. It goes straight up that wall, 5 stories to the top of that roof, and disappears. The 4 of us witness this. I'm in complete and utter shock and fear. So much so that the 3 of them walk me up the street to the club, and I end up in the manager's office with the bouncer and the 2 girls. And it was so terrifying and real that it felt like a dream. Now, here's what I need you to understand. I was born and raised in a church, a pastor's son. And it was a bouncer in a nightclub that led me back to Christ because Big Dude, who looked like hell on wheels, he literally looked like he could eat a person alive, fell down on his knees and started praying. Tears ran down my face, and I realized I turned my back on God. And even in my greatest moment of fear, while I was under attack, he sent a man who believed in him to save me. I stay in a club until closing time, give the bouncer and those 2 girls a ride home. And when I finally get to my place, I said, God, I get the message. I got it. No problem whatsoever. I'm yours. And that's how I turned back to God and became a preacher. I looked into the eyes of evil, and it was way more than I could handle all alone.